start telling them for the future of our children. Alright, so the next person that we're going to give an opportunity now he was one of the people who was the MC here. So, Golmayi, we're going to give you a chance now. He's going to come and read something for us. So, welcome.
I just want to say thank you to the authors, those who came overseas, Kirkrang and Santino Deng and our uncle, Jokdut. I'm here to present what I've worked on for the last. Okay, do you love them? She said yes. Listen to what your dad and mom says. That's my reply to how I survived the war. And the war we face as Sudanese is different from other kind of war. It's one of the inhumane wars ever we have experienced. Most of us, and I myself, have been in the war without a mom. It's different from someone here having problems with a mom and dad. And with the fridge in the house, we had no fridges in our house that days. And that you can go for 2 days without eating and only surviving on water. So I'm going to read some quotations from some pages in the book. The first quotation is about knowing your history, the importance of history. Page 7. As days and nights go by, people experience different types of self, and sometimes undergo subliminal changes, which even oneself could not feasibly explain. Stories are the very narrative that we tell. They can change us. They represent the changes that occur within any person, whether weird or familiar. They are the changes that the person experienced as a child or adult. The war in the Sudan, we face bad situations. And I'm not shy away from telling that bad situation, anyone who I meet. It's my story. It defines me. It's where I came from. My culture has stories or practices that are quite different from that of Australia. I don't shy away, I tell it and defend it, because it's my culture. And that's the way to go about building an independent mind, is to defend your position. To know what's wrong and what's bad and be able to defend it, why people do it as the way it is. Like the rest of the refugees around the world, South Sudanese refugees, coming from Uganda, Kenya, Egypt, they have experienced a lot of things. We had our families were severely affected. There was a breakdown in family units, families separating, children not listening to parents. But because of the resilience of our mothers, our fathers, and the family unit as an entity, we were able to survive the war. I have a quote here from page 17. Like Atom, which was also struggling, having spent years in war-caused poverty, it was no surprise to him to see Atom overworking herself, doing all the domestic activities. At least he never allowed Atom to till the garden or sow millet. He and Atom treated each other well. Makwach hated cooking even though Atom did not allow her to cook. Family duties were indeed limited to traditional patterns, which for the most part help lubricate their family dynamic. In Dinga tradition, men don't cook, women cook. Women do not build houses, where I came from, it's men's job. So having that boundaries, what the man does and what a woman does and what a child does, is one of the major factors that survive the war. It's one of the major factors that help us build resilience, because the men at times they are regarded as people who provide, they don't show emotion, because if they show emotion in Dinga culture, they are weak. And when they show emotions, the mothers and the children will all cry. So the fathers, no matter what happens, they remain strong, and so that the children and women also remain strong. As a person from a Sudanese background, and South Sudanese in particular, war experiences also come with vivid memories, which are remembered as long as the victim longevity is concerned. As we journeyed across numerous jungles, landscape in the former Sudan, things turned from what I call a vexatious cycles to a promising narrative. We were in a situation of constant worry, frightened that you're going to be attacked or you'll be killed, or you may die of diseases. But after that, it turned into different things. What I'm worried about today it's not what I was worried yesterday. So things have changed. In the war, there's a quote at page 81, the vivid memory that I said. As the ride proceeded smoothly, the richness of the local environment and natural beauty blessed this pace of our journey. From green vegetation to wild animals, there was so much to see. At times, wild animals would jump out from any direction, getting as close as the vehicle's front wheel. Some animals had the nerve to cross the road at high speed, while others would merely stand still in defiance. On top of the vehicle, the number of armed soldiers outweighs that of the civilians. They often fired their guns in an attempt to kill the wild animals, but to no avail. This is one of the good experiences that I can tell from our history apart from other things. It's like an adventure. You go into a zoo and you see what's good there. You go to a game park and you see what is good. No matter what happened to you before, you remember, because people remember two things, bad things and good things, because they are tied to emotion. Something emotional cannot be forgotten. As a refugee in Uganda, we experienced what experts call moving away from war to war, an incident involving an old man tells it all, page 108. It's about an old man. I'm choked. That's why many women come here without men, one beaten old man said, crying as the soldiers converged on him. They beat the old man savagely without restraint, all the while telling him to go back to Sudan. John, the man who had ordered this outrageous beating, was not visible during the rampage. The new location seemed like a decade-old war zone. There were cracks in the walls of the house, potholes in the floor, and grass had overgrown the interiors. The toilets were located some distance away from the main building. This quote is from my story when I came to Uganda in 2001, and we had to be beaten by UN officials, which are meant to protect us. So imagine, when I imagine and go back into that war memories, coming from war in Sudan and coming to another war situation, it sort of gives you, there's no better place. However, we can make a better place as a people. War, I'll read you another quote, war more often than not create institutional collapse as well as poverty, which hinders every individual progressive intent. But once ambition can resurface, one such situation subsides. Page 81, page 128, I quote, though one misses some vital life opportunities, life problems do not limit the great intellectual potential one is able to manifest. Should the appropriate time come, one's ability beaten down by war and poverty can resurface despite the vestiges of choking memories that one brings to conscious awareness. There is no better achievement for a person living the legacy of war miseries than excelling and accomplishing their major cherished goals in life. As a person from refugee background, and you as well, there's nothing that makes you happy than achieving your ambition. If you set your goals and you are consistent on those goals, they will make you happy. If you are looking for happiness from someone else, you will never get it. It's what do you do that make you happy. Also, every time I go to work in the morning, evening, or night, I reflect, why does war occur? And actually, who causes the war? Those are the questions. I may just go and hit someone there and we fight. But you don't know, there may be someone at my back who say, go and do this. Things happen like that. There's another quote in page 130. It answers who caused the war and how. To say it plainly, the whistleblowers of the present world miseries have the aspect and carriers embedded in ideologies that mask altruistic prevention of human losses. The creates a living hell for the innocent civilians who want only to live in peace without any serious disturbances. War is, and to a point, creates new barriers between people who had previously coexisted in peace. From this we can see that war damages our relations. That means that what happens today can continuously affect the generation coming in 100 years' time. So the problem we are facing today, or this war as South Sudanese, this war which ended, it happened a long time ago and it will continue to affect us unless we change the way we do things. How do we change? It's acquiring knowledge when you come to Australia here. My advice to young people who are pursuing their goals, please be consistent and start now. An African proverb advised that the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. So that's my work I've been doing. And if you have any question about that, you can ask me.